Okay, I welcome you in this lecture. So in this lecture, actually, we're going to talk about Tommy Wilhelm as an anti-hero. Uh, Before that, before we go to the discussion of anti-hero or anti-hero, I will ask you to answer me, if possible. Just tell me, what do you understand by a hero? I mean, what is your understanding of a hero? Or who will you call a hero in a novel? Just your
Sir,
understanding. Yeah, go on.
a hero can solve any problem. Who has the heroic character? Who has the power? How can I say?
That means he can solve his problems, right? And how about his family? I mean,
Yes,
from what kind of family do you expect a hero will come?
aristocratic family.
Usually aristocratic family. And that we see also in the definition of Aristotle, right? Aristotle, remember that in
Yes.
Poetics, he defined tragic hero, and there actually he said that he must be of a noble family. That means the hero should
Uh,
come from a noble family. That means higher class of the society. That was his
higher
definition.
class family থেকে belong.
Exactly. So that was his definition. Tanzir, what do you think? I mean, what's your understanding of a hero? I mean, what kind of person that you expect as a hero, or you will call him a hero?
Sir, a hero can do everything, and he is the protagonist character of any story.
Okay, I mean, when actually we have someone as a protagonist or as a hero in a text, what are the
So I
characteristics that
can't understand.
what are the characteristics that usually we, I mean, try to tag for a hero, that we will call him a hero if he or she has these characters or these characteristics, these features. So one is that you said that,
Character,
yeah, go on, Tanji. Yeah.
sir, characteristics, sir, এটা জানা নেই, sir. Sorry.
You said that he can solve all kinds of problems. Okay, that means he has a capacity, and which the ordinary people, they don't have that capacity to solve problems. That you meant. Tanzir, you said that he can solve problems, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So common, that means he is better than the average people. That we mean, actually, right?
Hmm.
That means a hero is better than the average people, or you can say the common people. He's above the common people. Then we call him that he is the hero. Does it all, I mean, all the time it has to be like this, that a hero will be from an aristocratic or noble family? Is it something obligatory that a hero must be of a noble family? Is it like that?
Yes, sir.
Can't we have hero or protagonist from a very common people, common man, common family, or a lower class or middle class family? A hero from a middle class family background. Can't we have?
Yes, sir. Sometimes we have, like, look back in anger. We found Jimmy, who is from lower class family.
Okay, that's great. And how about this? I mean, Tommy Wilhelm. In our previous lecture, we talked about, I mean, his life and his work. So from that discussion, so what is your understanding? Is he from a noble family background, or is he a person from a middle class family? What do you think?
Sir, he is from middle class family.
Exactly, he is from a middle class family background. We can see that. So especially in the modern novels, or even in modern drama, we see that it's not that all the time that the people from the aristocratic or higher class, actually they are the hero or protagonist. Also, we see the common people. We have our representation. We see the common people also. They are representing these hero characteristics in the novel. Now, here, the interesting thing is that we are saying that Tommy Wilhelm is anti-hero. He's not a hero, but he's anti-hero. So first of all, you have to have some quality of hero. Then, when we see that you don't have the enough qualities of hero, or just the opposite, then we'll call you that you're anti-hero. Now, let's go through this definition given by Ihab Hassan. He is a very famous critic and writer. So he's saying that the contemporary American novel, Ihab Hassan provides us with a comprehensive definition of anti-heroes in literature. He writes, Ihab Hassan, he says that, you can see on the screen, he's saying, in fiction, the unnerving rubric, anti-hero refers to a ragged assembly of victims: the fool, the clown, the hipster, the criminal, the poor soul, the freak, the outsider, the scapegoat, the scrubbing opportunist, the rebel without a cause, the hero in the in the Oscar, and hero on the lash. Now, in the fiction, actually, we will call that he is a anti-hero. There you see he has assembled several characteristics. Look at this: the fool, the clown, the hipster, the criminal, the poor soul, the freak, the outsider, the scapegoat, the scrub opportunist, the rebel without a cause. So you see the scapegoat. Scapegoat means, can you tell me the meaning of the word scapegoat?
Yes, sir.
Scapegoat, what does it mean, scapegoat?
Sorry, sir.
Anyone?
No, sir.
Scapegoat means a person on whom you can give all the blame. That means whatever, for example, in your class, you have one of your classmates. He is very humble. He is very quiet kind of person. He's he's very introverted. So what you see that sometimes if anything happens, especially anything bad happens in the class, so most of the time actually we try to put blame on him, that he is responsible for this. We are not. So he's a scapegoat. Do you understand what I'm saying now?
Yes, sir.
That is, who takes all the blames. When he doesn't want to take those blames, but automatically all the blames, go on him. That we call a scapegoat. And also the scrub opportunist. Sometimes we find that the hero, actually, he is an opportunist. Opportunist means all the time he's looking for opportunity to gain profit or to have benefit. So our anti-hero can also be like that. And also the rebel without a cause. We can find that he's very rebellious. That means he wants to do something in a different way, but he doesn't have any specific cause, actually, why he is doing these rebellious activities. He doesn't have any specific cause for that. So we also, in that case, we also can call him that he is a rebel. He's an anti-hero. So an anti-hero also can be a criminal. Anti-hero can be a very poor soul. All the time he's suffering, he's facing problems. So if you just take, not all of these actually you have to have in one character to call him an anti-hero, but you can have some of these characteristics. For example, if I ask you the question that Tommy Wilhelm, can you tell me that out of these characteristics, what do you find in him? Is he a fool? Tommy Wilhelm, can we call him a fool? Or is he a clown? Is he a hipster? Or is he a criminal? Tommy Wilhelm, is he a criminal?
It's a fool.
He is fool. In what way actually you are saying that he is fool? You're right. Can you just explain it
Sir,
a little bit? Yes, go on.
He's fool because when I read, I found that he depends on his father to get some decision. He cannot take his own decision.
Okay, you're right. You're right. And also he is depending for his financial, for his financial benefit on some people. For example, he dependent on Dr. Tamkin, though he knows that he is someone who cannot be trusted on, but still he trusted him and he invested his money. And you see, he also gave him the power of attorney to use his money, to invest his money in the stock market. So he's a fool in that sense. He is a fool. Can we call him a criminal? Did he do anything that goes with criminality, or can we call him a criminal? No, he's not a criminal.
No, sir.
Right? But can we call him a poor soul? Is he a poor soul? Do you understand poor soul? And yes, poor soul means one who is always suffering and who is not having any fortune, any good luck in most of the time. So we call him he is a poor soul. That means he doesn't have luck. Can we call him a poor soul?
Yes,
Why
sir.
not, sir?
Yes, we
Sorry.
can call him a poor soul. We can call him a poor soul. He invested money. He tried to change his luck in different ways, but still he couldn't bring that much substantial changes in his
That
life.
I
So
can't.
yes, yes, that's why we can call him a poor soul. Can we call him a freak? Is he a freak?
No, sir.
No, he's not a
Freak.
freak. Freak means someone who is very strange, eccentric. People with the
No,
eccentric
sir.
behavior, we call them freak. But he's not that much freak. The outsider, can we call him an outsider? An outsider. Think
I
about
don't
it.
know. Out.
Outsider, for
Yeah,
example,
outsider.
in what sense? In what sense? Who can tell me that he's an outsider? To
Sir,
some extent,
I want
he's
to
an
know that
outsider. Yes, go on.
how outsider.
Okay. Now look, these people, I mean, all those retirees, they were living in a Hotel Gloriana, and in that Hotel Gloriana, all of them living there, they were retired persons, aged persons. You see, they're old, they are done with their life. Now they're just enjoying their time, this retired time, retired life. They're enjoying it. But you see, our Tommy Wilhelm, he's also staying in the same hotel. You see, he's an outsider because he's not like all the other boarders of that hotel. You see, do you understand what I'm saying?
No, sir.
I mean, in that hotel, all the retired persons are living. Our Tommy Wilhelm is a retired person. Is he that much old? He's in his mid 40s. Maybe he's
No, sir.
35, 36, 38, or 40. So that's what we call him. He's in his mid, or maybe he's 40, 45, like this. So he's in his mid 40s. So this is not the time for him to retire. See, but he lost his job. He
Yes.
doesn't have enough money. That's why he's living in that hotel, because living in that hotel is cheap. Okay, and also
Okay, sir.
you see all the people who, I mean, especially in that American materialistic society, everybody's hankering after money. They were greedy. But you see, our person, he's not that much greedy. He just wants to sustain his life. But you see, he couldn't cope up with society, this materialistic society. And that's why you see, he even doesn't know where to invest his money. He took help from a fraud, and he lost his money, I mean, in the long run. So this is the thing. That means he simply finds it very difficult to cope up with the materialistic American society. So in that sense, we can say that, I mean, he's an outsider. He's not a capitalist like the other American people that we can see in the, in the novel. So in that sense, he's an outsider. Do you get my point, what I'm saying? Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So if we consider these cases, then we can say that yes, he's an outsider. So several characteristics of being an anti-hero we have found in him. For example, he is an outsider, he is a scapegoat, but he's not an opportunist. He is a rebel. He rebelled against his parents. He went to Hollywood. He wanted to be a hero. He wanted to work in the film, but actually it didn't work. So I mean, this rebellious, behavior, actually, it was without any cause. So he couldn't materialize his dream. So if you take some of these characteristics or traits, then we can call that Tommy Wilhelm. Actually, he is an anti-hero. Now we'll go forward and we'll read some of the things from here. Now, viewed from the perspective of this definition, we see that Tommy Wilhelm, the protagonist of Saul Bellow's masterpiece, since the day seems to be an anti-hero. Wilhelm, like other Willovian heroes, has the fatal flaws inherent in his personality. Willovian means, other heroes in the other novels written by the same author, Saul Bellow. That means just like other heroes of Saul Bellows, so we can see that he also have flaws. He has also have flaws in his character, inherent in his personality. He is an alienated individual living on the margin of the society. He is alienated. He is separated from the rest of the society. He doesn't have that much connection with the society, because if he was connected with the society, with the capitalist or materialist society, the American society, then he could have succeeded in his life. But he didn't understand the American society. That's actually he failed. So Billow's writing puts a lot of emphasis on the themes of individual versus society and individual in self-conflict. So here we can see the individual versus society. So our Tommy Wilhelm, he is an individual. And on the other hand, we have the American society, the capitalist, opportunist, is a materialistic society is there. And our Tommy Wilhelm is on the other side. Then again, we see that there is a conflict, the self-conflict or the inner conflict is going on in, within Tommy Wilhelm personality. So he's also fighting with himself, and also he's fighting with the society in the that is in the outside world. So in his writing, society is always portrayed as impersonal, mechanical, and indifferent to individuals. So you see, we can say that then society is always portrayed as impersonal, mechanical, and indifferent to individuals. So this is taken from a critique Dutton, and he's saying that in Saul Below's writing, we can see that the society is, it is portrayed as impersonal. Do you understand impersonal? Do you know the meaning of the word impersonal? Impersonal means something which is not personal. That means which is objective. That means if something is impersonal, we can say that it doesn't care about any personal feelings. And mechanically, you understand that is
Machine type.
exactly. And also we can have mechanical society, understand that it doesn't have any feeling. And indifferent to individual, that means the society that is portrayed in his novel, we find that they are indifferent to individual. That means I'm an individual, you are an individual, Tommy Wilhelm is an individual, but these individuals, they don't find, they don't find any solace in the society. They don't find any peace in the society. They don't find any help in the society. Society is reluctant. Society is indifferent. It is improving. It is going on in its own way. It doesn't care about the individual people. In the cruel society, the individual with his dreams, desires, and ideologies finds a place for him, asserts his identity, and most importantly, maintains self-integrity. So we see, even in this situation, the character, the hero, in this cruel society, we will find that individuals will they will struggle to establish their self-integrity. They will try to establish their own identity. You can see in this novel, Tommy Wilhelm, actually, he's also losing his food, and he's also having problem with his self-identity, because you can see he simply can't have help or assistance from his own father. So it actually created a kind of existential crisis in him. So he found it very difficult to exist as a person, as an individual in the society, because he isn't getting any help from any part of the society. Now, if you just take a look at the Tommy Wilhelm's physical appearance, you see he's not like a hero. He's not that much attractive. You see he is large, fair, as it has been said in the novel, that he's fair-haired hippopotamus. You see, hippopotamus actually, it's not that much good-looking animal, but it's very strong, but not that much good-looking animal. So fair-haired hippopotamus is not a good description of a person. That was how he looked to himself. So actually he thought that actually he is a hippopotamus and he's not good-looking. So that is the description that we get about Tommy Wilhelm in the novel. He's even filthy. What a dirty devil this son of mine is. Why can't he try to sweeten his appearance a little? So that was his father's comment. His father is commenting on his own son's appearance. He's saying that he's a filthy-looking young chap or a filthy-looking young guy. Oh. And why doesn't he change his appearance? That was his father's question. So even his father, he himself didn't like the appearance of his own son. So things, his father about him. The way Tommy dresses himself up, the way he talks, and his very style of talking, taking food, reveals flaws in his personality. He exhibits symptoms of neurosis, and his actions and attitudes are symptomatic of his lack of control or loss of order of his being. So here you see, it says that the way he takes food, the style of taking food, that is not okay. And the way he dresses himself up, that is not also okay. And the way he talks, all these things actually, they're symptomatic that he is having some kind of neurosis. He is having some kind of mental disorder. So they are the symptomatic of his mental disorder, all his attitude, his dress up and everything. Now, Tommy is overtly emotional and childish. We can see that. He is very much emotional and he is childish. In the novel, we find it on different occasions. And his excess of emotion leads him to nurture a fatal drawback in his personality, and that is his dependence. Now, people who are very much emotional and who are childish, you will find that usually they become very much dependent on the other people. They can't do things by themselves. All the time, actually, they're looking for help from other people. Do you get my point? Do you understand this point, that people who are emotional and those who are childish, you will find that they are very dependent on the other people. They can't do
Yes, sir.
all the things by themselves because they're very emotional. They get very emotional at any point. So, and also they're very childish. Childish means their behavior is just like child. It's in a negative sense, childlike. It's not childlike, it is childish. That means though they're grown-ups, but still they behave like they behave just like the children. So these people actually, they have a fatal flaws or drawback in their personality, and that is dependence. That's why we see that Tommy Wilhelm, he was depending on Mr. Thumbkin, and also he was trying to depend, or he was depending on his father. So he was depending on different occasions on different people. For financial support, he was depending on his father and also Dr. Thumbkin. Also emotional support, he was also seeking emotional support from people like Dr. Thumbkin, also from his father. So he was trying to depend on people emotionally and also financially because he was very emotional and childish. Now, being unable to solve his problems, Tommy rushes to his father for substantial support and he gets nothing but rebuff. Now, you see what is happening, that Tommy Wilhelm, at the very beginning of our today's discussion, some of you told me that a hero will be a person who will have the capacity to solve his own problems, right? Remember that? That hero will solve his own problems. He will have that capacity to solve his problems. But here we can see that Tommy Wilhelm, he is unable to solve his problems. He can't solve his problems. That's why actually sometimes he's going to his father for substantial support, financial support, and sometimes he's going to Mr. Thumbkin for emotional support. So this is the thing. This trait in character is made prominent through his act of investing his last means of survival with someone whom he little knows. So despite his inability to give a clear shape to the queer doctor's personality, Tommy gives Dr. Thumbkin the power of attorney to deal with the money. So you see, Tommy Wilhelm, he wasn't sure about the characteristics or about the personality of Mr. Thumbkin, but still he gave him the power of attorney to deal with his money. So after getting the power of attorney, Mr. Thumbkin or Dr. Thumbkin, he invested his money in the stock market. So this is a mark of dependence, and this is a sense of fatal dependence is evident in the penultimate scene of the story. That means in the novel, at one point we can see his dependence has been expressed in this paragraph. I will read it to you. It's on page 96 from the novel. Here it says, Thumbkin was a charlatan, and furthermore, he was desperate. Thumbkin means the Dr. Thumbkin, the man actually who took his money. And furthermore, Wilhelm had always known this about him. And Wilhelm knew about this, and he was a charlatan. Charlatan means fake. Okay? Charlatan means fake, fraud.
Fake.
So fake, exactly. So Wilhelm knew that he was fake. But still, actually, he got allured by his proposal. And he gave him the power of attorney to invest his money in the stock market. So you see, this is his problem. This is his flaws. But he appeared to have worked it out at the back of his mind that Thumbkin for 30 or 40 years had gotten through many a tight place, that he would get through this crisis too and bring him, that means Wilhelm, to safety also. And Wilhelm realized that he was on Tompkins' back. It made him feel that he had virtually left the ground and was riding upon the other man. He was in the air. It was for Tompkins to take the steps. Now look at this. How much dependent actually he got on, on Dr. Tompkins. This is. It has been expressed here. So you see, he knew that he was not a person to be dependent on, but still, Wilhelm says that since he is an experienced person, and for 30 or 40 years he worked in different difficult places, so he has lots of experiences. So even if he's not a good person, but still, Wilhelm thinks that is our protagonist. He thinks that Dr. Tompkins will be able to invest his money properly, and he will be able to give him the benefit. So you see, the person, even knowing that he is not a good person, still he is working in his mind that still I can believe him because he has lots of experiences. So he will not, fail in this case to invest his money in the stock market. So he believed in him, and he knows it very well. Wilhelm feels that now I'm depending on a person and riding upon the other man. That was the expression in the novel, and this is the way actually he's thinking about himself. Now he is depending on that person, and this is his flaws. And a hero actually shouldn't be like this, but we can see that he is like this. Now the childish Tommy fails to fathom the reality. That means he failed to fathom the reality or the depth of the crisis. Like we can see the Hamlet in the Shakespeare's play Hamlet. We can see that the Hamlet is also in that kind of modern or Hamletian dilemma where actually he was saying that to be or not to be, whether actually he should execute his plan or not to execute his plan to avenge his father's killer. So this is the way actually we find that our anti-hero, that he has his crisis, he has his shortcomings, and he has these characteristics of being a anti-hero, or we can call him anti-hero because of these characteristics. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, if you have any questions, you can ask me, or you can have your opinion about this discussion.
No, sir. এটা নিজে থেকে একবার পড়তে হবে স্যার কয়েকবার, তাহলে বুঝতে পারবো।
Okay, no problem. But so far, what I have discussed, that actually, how can we call him a anti-hero? You can have some idea right now, right?
Yes, sir.
Because if you just consider the characteristics of the hero, and then if you consider the characteristics of an anti-hero, then we can say that actually we're calling him anti-hero, not a hero. But he's a hero. Though actually we're calling him a anti-hero, but still he's a hero. Why? You see, Tommy actually at one point, you see, he possesses something noble and magnanimous in him. That he cared for people, though actually he is lonely, but still he wants to take care of his family. But since actually he is in a situation where actually he is completely broke and he doesn't have money to give to his family, so he feels very helpless, right? If he were not that kind of person, if he were ruthless, insensitive, he wouldn't have felt for his family in that way, right? So
yes, sir.
We cannot say that actually he is not a hero, because and he's trying to overcome this situation. He didn't give up. You see, he didn't give up in the novel. Even at the last point of the novel, we can see that though
সে কখনো হাল ছেড়ে দেয়নি স্যার, চেষ্টা করেই গেছে।
Exactly, that is the point. Thank you for bringing up that issue, that he never actually gave up. He was trying, and he was trying to trying for different opportunities at different time. He's not an opportunist in that way, but he was just trying to use his luck for different things so that he can earn some handsome amount, and he can use that amount for himself and for his family. So that was his intention, and that's why actually he was also seeking help from the other people just to sustain himself and also his family. So that's why we can say that though actually he has all these symptoms of being an anti-hero, but still for his struggle, for his determination to survive, we can call him that he is a hero, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So anything else that you would like to add?
Yes, sir.
Anything else that you would like to add?
No, sir.
স্যার এটা পড়তে হবে স্যার একটু পড়লেই
I believe that if you read it a little bit from the text and also the handout that I've already shared, so read that paragraph. And still, if you have any problem, you can text me or we can have another session on it some other time. I mean, at your convenient time, of course.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.
ওকে স্যার
Thank you
থ্যাংক
very
ইউ
much
স্যার
for joining me, and hope actually we'll find it useful. And I will upload this video as soon as possible. All right.